How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, aka Slammerella, and today we have a collection update to do. Mostly punk with a few odds and ends at the end, so stick around and see what those are. First up, I'm kind of just continuing off from the unboxing I did of Mason Pearman's package that he sent me. So to start off the punk collection in this video is Green Day with Uno, the 9th album. It's from 2012. Once again, I still feel like this album is way better than I remember giving it credit for, and I'll obviously have to get Dose and Tray. Speaking of which, this fell off the tray. But yeah, the trilogy that Green Day released was actually pretty decent in comparison to Father of All Motherfuckers, so I'm taking a re-look at my thoughts on those albums and probably picking those up too. But yeah, Green Day, pop-punk band from the US. If you like them, cool. If you don't, understandable. Next is a pretty not so talked about band these days when it comes to the punk community. Don't know why, but when I heard this, it was some crazy, unexpected, but really enjoyable stuff, and that is The Refused. This is their third album. This is from 1998. If you don't know who The Refused are, they're a hardcore art punk from Sweden, of all places, and they play some pretty eccentric, pretty off-the-wall type of hardcore punk music with a little bit of experimentation and tongue-in-cheek stuff. This is probably not what your average skater punk, pop punk girlfriend would listen to. If she heard this, she'd probably be like, that sucks, that's the worst punk I've ever heard. But honestly, if you're into the more extreme side of punk and a little bit different taste in music, then you should enjoy this, especially The Shape of Punk to Come. Once again, Refused's third album, and a lot of things on here that, if you are in the punk circles, you know paved the way for a lot of things. The name is pretty much right on the nose, and for this to come out in 1998 when a lot of punk wasn't going this way at the time was pretty crazy. I can't think of the song on here specifically. I think New Noise maybe was the one that got more play than any of the others, if it did get on MTV or Much Louder or whatever, maybe a program in Europe. But yeah, I think New Noise is probably the song that is most well known off of this album, so give that a shot. Excellent stuff. I definitely need to pick up their other stuff. They have 5 albums in total, their last one being War Music, that actually came out last year in 2019, so I'm gonna have to go check that out as well. And with a name like War Music, it's gotta be good. But yeah, Refused's third album, 1998, The Shape of Punk to Come, fantastic stuff. Following that, going back to some kind of skater and pop punk that's nowhere near as good as that, but since I'm being a completionist, I had to get the last album by Offspring, and that is Days Go By, that being their 9th album. These guys are from California, started in 1984. There's going to be a lot of bands from California in this update, by the way. Like, most of them are from California, with the odd one not. So yeah, this album by Offspring isn't that good at all. The last track is probably my favorite one, that being Slim Pickens Does the Right Thing and Rides the Bomb to Hell, which kind of seems like some stuff from their 7th album, and maybe some stuff off of Conspiracy of One is kind of what that last track reminds me of. The other stuff on here is a little weird. There's even a track on here that has like a reggae beat to it, and there's another one that has almost like a dance club beat to it. I don't know why they chose to go that way. Noodles and Dexter are pretty weird when it comes to their taste in music, but I feel like maybe they're trying to be tongue-in-cheek, or maybe they just were trying to be experimental. But yeah, Noodles and Dexter are a couple of weirdos, and I'm sure that they either were just being eccentric or being funny with those tracks. But yep, had to get it. 9th album by The Offspring back in 2012. The next one, I'm slowly but surely going through their discography and picking it up. This is the 8th album by the Ramones, Too Tough to Die. And if you know what the Ramones sound like, it just sounds like that early kind of 70s, late 70s, just punk rock sound with a little bit of edge to it here and there. This album had a few slightly heavier punk songs and slightly darker issues or lyrical themes to it. Like I'm Not Afraid of Life, Too Tough to Die, Planet Earth 1988. But yeah, all in all, really, really good. This is probably one of my favorite Ramones albums, especially from like the middle discography era. Highly recommend this if you want to get into the Ramones. Their first two albums are classic, but this might have something that might be a little bit more up your alley. But yeah, it's just another one of the Ramones that I had to get. Great New York punk rock band from 1974. That album specifically was 10 years after their birth, so 1984. They also have 14 other albums, their last album being Adios Amigos in 1995. Alright, so following that up with some more Californian skater, pop punk, maybe, whatever you want to call it. This is Bad Religion with New Maps of Hell. This is from 2007 and is their 14th album. And once again, I'm just trying to collect everything by Bad Religion, just slowly going through their discography as I find it, either at Deja or Now and Then or wherever that I may stumble upon music out in the wild. But this one's pretty good. The first track starts off pretty fast, and then there's a couple of like speedier stuff throughout, but it's mostly just Bad Religion doing Bad Religion. Like they don't really do anything wrong, in my opinion. There might be one or track here or there that might be either too slow or kind of odd, but for the most part, it's just, if you like Bad Religion, you'll enjoy this. There should be no reason like Stranger Than Fiction or No Control. It's mostly in there in one form or another. Once again, from California, Bad Religion started in 1980. This album is from 2007. Besides this, they have 17 albums in total. Their last one being Age of Unreason that came out last year in 2019. I might eventually pick that up too if I'm being a completionist, but it's probably not going to be for a while. I still need to get the later half of the discography after this one as well. So yeah, Bad Religion, New Maps of Hell. Not a bad release by Bad Religion. Alright, so that's the end of the punk part. If you stuck around this long, you're in for maybe a treat. I don't know if if you like this kind of stuff, but I've been a fan of this band for a long time, probably from grade 7 for me. I don't even want to know what year that was, maybe 96, maybe 97. Yeah, when I first heard of Ramstein, these guys just killed it for me when it came to just another country's music. Excellent industrial metal, hard rock, goth metal band from Germany, Berlin, Germany. This is their self-titled album from last year, 2019. Their 7th album in total. We weren't sure if we were ever going to get another Ramstein album, and then finally they released this. Lots of good tracks on here. Deutschland, Auslander, Hollow Man, Sieg dich. I'm not going to try and pronounce the rest of these, but yeah, really, really good comeback from Ramstein. Very plain album cover, just with a random matchstick. And then I'm sure the images inside are equally as lackluster. It just folds out into this. All the band members and then all the lyrics. But yeah, if you know Ramstein, this album is basically no different than what you've heard before. Really catchy, groovy kind of guitar riffs. His solemn, deep German voice with the odd English word or two thrown in there, and with the odd touch of industrial noises as well. There's some songs that are a little slow, some songs that are a little heavier. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but all in all, another decent release from Ramstein, self-titled, from 2019, so last year. It's their 7th album. Next, this one I know a lot of people really weren't looking too highly at, especially compared to their last album. Their last album was really, really good, The Righteous and the Butterfly. This album has a couple of pretty decent tracks on it, but there's also some really weird, slow stuff and experimental stuff. And obviously I'm talking about Mushroomhead with A Wonderful Life, which came out earlier this year. I had to pick it up just to be a completionist. These guys are, or were, some pretty decent like nu metal back in the day from, I think, Cleveland, but it's good, just not as good as the last album. The Righteous and the Butterfly was way better than this for sure. Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children was also better than this, I think, maybe heavier than this. So yeah, within the last 3 albums, it would be this, and then Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children, and then The Righteous and the Butterfly being at the top. So this would rank 3rd out of the last 3 albums. It's still alright. It's still worth picking up, I think, if you really enjoy Mushroomhead. But I don't know. I think I might be trying to pick up the most recent Jeffrey Nothing album, which seems like it might be better than this. But I don't know. Maybe nostalgia is just kicking me in the pants and told me to buy it, but I had to get a copy. Mushroomhead, Wonderful Life from this year. Alright, second last thing is something I picked up for the wife, but I figured I'd show on here. It's actually not too bad. I gave it a listen to it a couple of times. I actually enjoy a bit of it. This is 18 Visions with their self-titled album. This is from 2006 and is their 5th album. If you don't know who 18 Visions are, they are a metalcore / alternative metal type of band that also came from California. Like I said, there's a lot of bands from California in this video for some reason, just kind of a coincidence. But they started in 1995. They have 6 albums in total, and their most recent one is 17, and it's from 2017, so I guess that's why they call it 17. This is not terrible. Like, it's pretty decent if you're able to have an open mind and you're not just into the more extreme metal bands. It's better than Black Veil Brides. It's better than, almost better than Bullet for My Valentine. So, you know, if you want something in that genre but better, I would check out 18 Visions. There's clean singing, there's harsh vocals, there's lots of melody and some cool riffs. I don't know if I don't have anything else to compare it to. I haven't heard their other albums. I kind of recognized the name and looked it up on spiritofrock.com to see what they were, and that's what it said they were, was like metalcore and alternative metal. And I knew the wife likes alternative metal, so I picked it up for her, but I actually don't mind it. The haircuts should kind of give it away what type of music they're doing. But yeah, so 18 Visions, 2006 self-titled album, their 5th album apparently. Last thing on here, if you remember my package from Mason Perriman, you saw I got some traditional heavy metal or hair metal band in there with Cinderella. This time I ended up picking up Rat out of the Cellar. They're an excellent kind of hard rock heavy metal band from California. Once again, another California band in this. I don't know how I managed to put all of these in one video and just randomly pick them up, but yeah, Rat's first album, Out of the Cellar. They have an EP before this though. This was in 1984, and they started in 1976. They have 7 other albums, their most recent being Infestation from 2010. It's just kind of that horror movie metal soundtrack kind of thing. Kind of reminds me of the songs that Alice Cooper had for the Friday the 13th movie kind of reminds me a bit of the Dream Warriors riffs from Dokken and Nightmare on Elm Street. So if you liked any of that nostalgia, 80s kind of hair metal, hard rock sound, or traditional heavy metal, there should be no reason why you don't enjoy Rat Out of the Cellar. I might see what their other albums is like too. I just remember listening to this the most back in the day, so I ended up picking this up too for pretty cheap. And apparently they have a new album in the works in coming 2021, so there you go, Rat fans. If you're looking forward to new shit from them, keep an eye open in next year when hopefully all this COVID bullshit's done. So that's it. That is my fat stack of punk and other albums. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know if you listen to any of this shit or if you have any of these albums. Would be cool to talk with you about it in the comment section. And that's it for me. For Glory, for the Rebel Alliance, Slammerella out.